What's up, this is Throttle and you're watching thatDROP.com. Yeah, I'm just excited to see it all. I've heard so much about it and I've obviously seen all the after movies. I've seen New York, but I've been told that Vegas is just that times 10. So yeah, I'm just excited to see the stage designs, and yeah, I've heard all the people that go there, like so many costumes, and it's so well themed. So yeah, just everything. Kind of. It took me a few days to make, and at the time I was working with Oliver Heldens on our track, Waiting, which came out about 6 months ago. Anyway, so I was unsigned at the time, and I had about 15 tracks in the SoundCloud set, and Moneymaker was the last one that I just quickly put together and chucked in the set. And yeah, I sent it to Spinnin and just said, you know, if you like any of these, let me know. And they said, we love Moneymaker, we want to sign you. So from that moment on, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. Because the week before, me and my manager were kind of like, yes, it's like okay, it's cool, but you know, is it releasable? And the next day we were like, hey, you know, Moneymaker tune you're working on, pretty cool. But yeah, every day we liked it more and more, and then Spinnin loved it, and then everyone started loving it. So yeah, that was about a year ago, and we knew we had something pretty special, and then I was gradually finalising, and then yeah, no, I'm really proud of how it came out. Well, at the time I got into dance music, there was a lot of big electro house, like a lot of the harder stuff was coming in. But that was sort of the same time I discovered dance music. Like that was really when I discovered dance music in the first place. So I went back and I was finding guys like Daft Punk, and I was finding guys like Maddien, and then I was also finding guys like Earth, Wind & Fire, and I was finding that the guys like Maddien and Daft Punk were sampling or inspired by all this disco stuff, and I love the disco stuff itself, and yeah, it was just all sort of happening at the one time. I was discovering all this music, and disco was the stuff I really loved, and Daft Punk and Maddien were the guys that sort of showed me that you could capture that, the magic of the disco, but put it in a modern form. And yeah, from when I was 13 or 14, that was what I wanted to do, was I guess capture the magic and the fun of the disco era without some of the corniness that is sometimes associated with 60s, 70s, 80s music. But yeah, and I've just gradually over the years, it's sort of gone from disco electro to disco house. There was disco progressive house back in the day, but yeah, it's always been disco influenced for me. It was supposed to be a radio show of mine. I did like 2 episodes and I was like, nah, fuck it, I don't have time for that. But it was, at the time I wanted to make a mixtape that had disco and had, the dirty was like the EDM sound, which was getting harder and harder by the minute with Garrix and Heldens coming in. And it was also like I wanted to include hip hop and just everything in this podcast. And that was when I was about 14 or 15. But since then, my music has been so influenced by all those different genres that the dirty disco was the perfect tagline for everything I was making, so I'd kept it. We've been connected on Facebook for about 2 or 3 years before we even started Waiting. He just released Gecko, and I just remixed Avicii's You Make Me, and that was at the end of 2013, I think. And yeah, we just connected on Facebook, and we were big fans of each other, and started giving feedback on each other's music, and yeah, we were really good friends online. And then yeah, we met a couple of times, once in Australia and once in America maybe? Anyway, I saw that he had a couple of weeks in the studio, and I was like, hey bro, what do you think of this idea? And that was the concept of Waiting. And yeah, a couple of days later he sent me back his version of it, and we went from there, and that was Waiting, I guess. It was just totally online, and we met in LA a couple of months later and did the real finishing touches, but I guess it was essentially done totally online. I don't think so. I'm heading towards more, as far as the live stuff goes, I'm heading towards more traditional, incorporating instruments rather than launchpad stuff. I think the videos are great. The videos are really interactive and people get it online, but I found when you perform it live, no one seems to really understand it. And you can put cameras on it and you can do other stuff to make people understand what's going on, but at the end of the day, you've got your head down and you're not looking at the crowd and you're stressing out, like push one button wrong, like the whole thing's gonna fuck up. And I just didn't think it was worth it, because at the end of the day, incorporating live things is supposed to make the show more interactive, and I found that it was the least interactive part of my set. So yeah, moving forward, I'll be playing more guitar, and as the shows get bigger, hopefully, I'll be able to incorporate horn players, singers, and yeah. Loved working with Oliver Heldens, of course. Yeah, we really complement each other. Our workflows in the studio really work well together, and we're just constantly bouncing off each other, which is, I guess, because we're used to doing that online and giving each other really harsh feedback up front. It's just a good way to work with each other. He's probably the favourite guy I've worked with. Nico the Kid is amazing as well. He's a producer that we just finished a track. Well, we finished an instrumental and we're working on the vocal together now. But yeah, he's amazing. He started as a hip hop producer, and he was producing for guys like Akon and Waka Waka Flame back in the day. So he's been producing for ages, and he's a producer, little producer god. So he's awesome to work with in the studio, and I think he's kind of new to dance music, or Nico the Kid is a new project he started for dance music. So he's so talented in all these different areas, and yeah, he's really fun in the studio. Who else? A guy called Sam Nicolosi is incredible. He hasn't actually really launched his project yet, but he's a singer. I know it's producers, but he sings and produces. And yeah, remember the name. He's gonna be big. He's about to launch his project, and we've had a lot of fun working together in LA. Martin Garrix for sure, for short term. We had an idea we were going to work on 6 months, a year ago, that never really came to fruition. So it'd be fun to get in with him. Who else would I love to work with? I'd love to work with someone like John Newman. I think he's a really good balance between pop and soul, and the grit he has is amazing. Charles Bradley would be awesome in the short term. If you haven't heard of him, he's kind of like the modern James Brown. He's incredible. Long term, very, very long term, Justin Timberlake. He's always been my biggest influence and inspiration. Jamiroquai I'd love to work with. Yeah, they're probably my top two, I think. Justin Timberlake for sure. He was the first show I saw when I was maybe 10, I think. It was the first live show I ever saw, and yeah, it was amazing. He had this, I don't know if you call it a revolving stage, or he could walk around and view the crowd from any angle, and yeah, the full live band, and his session plays were amazing, and as a performer he sings, dances, plays guitar, plays piano. So when I saw that, that was when I realised, oh, this is what I want to do. So I guess that's the part of me that's pushing for more instruments in my show, and making music that's poppier and really, really funky and soulful. So he's just as a performer and as a musician, he's been the one that's influenced me the most. Definitely Nico the Kid.
Okay.
His stuff's really next level. Yeah, as far as singers, Sam Nicolosi for sure. Yeah, those are probably the two that I'm watching most closely right now. A lot of music. There's a lot of stuff that's stockpiled, just picking which direction I want to go on a few of them. But yeah, I've got 2 or 3 that are pretty much set in stone. The full vocal version of Moneymaker is coming out in about 3 or 4 weeks, which is epic. It's got a ridiculous music video.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the closest thing that everyone has to look forward to. And then there's a lot of shows this year. So just music and touring is my 2016. Well, yeah, I do just have a thank you. Back when September came out, that was really when all my fans who bought that pretty much pushed my music to the next level totally. That track blew up out of nowhere, and oh yeah, I guess thank you to everyone who bought that one, because that's kind of what kickstarted the project for me, was that record. And out of nowhere, it went from nothing to a Beatport #1. So nice. I do have all my fans. Thank you for that one.